As I work with my buddy Bob here, we're going to practice some targets. It's good to have a humanoid type figure because it gives you the right contouring that you would feel when you actually have to implement this against another person. If you don't have a training partner to spar with and practice your targeting with, these are a great option otherwise. The bases can be a little bit chintzy and weak, but that's what we got. The other thing that's advantage of this is I can really tee off on Bob here. If I really tee off on my partner, they're not going to be my partner for very long for a couple reasons. One, they're not going to like you. Two, they may end up in the hospital. So as I'm targeting, I need to know what to hit. Not everybody is John Jones. So we need to target things that will hurt the most and cause the most damage with our own average capability. So I want to target what we call vital targets. On the human body, there's a lot of soft zones. You have the eyes, you have the throat, you have the solar plexus, you have the groin. Okay, that's going to be the groin down here. The other things that you have, liver, kidneys, back of the head. You have your pressure points or acupressure point stuff as well. Those are 50-50 on the reliability. They can help amplify your hits, but they're not showstoppers. Sorry, guys. Some people think that I can do that dim mock death touch. No. The points that I want to hit, I want to get to the ones that are going to be the easiest to damage with the least amount of effort. For me, that's always the eyes first. Even if I don't get to the eyes, you get a predictable reaction, which is my hands come up. Well, when the hands come up, that opens up everything below your elbows or even between your arms. So when I target the eyes, I don't need a super hard shot for that. I just need a quick flick. I can hit like that. I can hit with my backhand. I don't really run a big risk of injuring my fingers because I always want to plan on still having to go for a weapon. If I can't make a fist, if I can't pull my trigger finger, if I can't grip a blade, then I don't have a weapon anymore. I've disarmed myself because I've done something to injure myself. So, what are your options? Anything in the head, that's a good option. I got my eyes. I have the throat. We're going to consider the neck as part of the head. The center of the throat, right here in this notch, really hurts. Just push on it. You're going to be like, stop. Or you may learn something about yourself. Just saying. The other part is the temple, hinge of the jaw, and the ear. Those are all great, great, great shots to follow after the eyes. So let's start with the throat. It's my favorite shot. So when I do an eye jab here, I'm going to aim for the center of the nose. It's going to slide left or right. Doesn't matter which one you get. Maybe you get both, depending on how the fingers splay out. It's going to get the head to snap back, hands to come up. As the chin goes up, my follow-up hand shoots right into the throat. So when they have a t-shirt like this on, I aim right for the collar. If it's a V-neck, aim for the triangle. Okay? So I'm here, and when I hit, my fingers are like this so I don't stove them. And I'll hit with the palm into here as well to add some impact into the chest cavity. When I make impact here, what I want to do is I want to dig in. That's going to get them to do that. So I'm here. Boom. Okay. Just like in fundamental boxing, the jab is going to be our go-to starting move. Our eye jab is our go-to starting move with our empty-handed system. If I go into the next target, which I do like the best, is the ear, because I want to rupture that eardrum. I basically do my eye jab, and as in boxing, it'd be a jab and a hook, but I'm just going to keep it open-handed. So there's my eye jab, palm strike to the ear. Try to hit with this little cup if you can. If your hand ends up straight, no big deal either. If you get this cup, you get more of a vacuum action into the eardrum. So I'm here, and I come across. Notice how I step across my opponent to get maximum impact. If you're a lefty, you just do it the opposite way. The other options that I have into the face is I can do a palm strike just and push the head up to drive them backwards. I can also get some whiplash into the neck. So as I turn Bob here, I get this. Basically, this is going to be your jab cross. So I'm here, and I just palm strike straight through the head. Okay. The other option that I have on my palm strike is actually targeting up here on the forehead. That's going to get the head to really whip back. I may not have access to the chin, especially if they have their head tucked, as they might. So when I go here, I skip this right off the top of the head. So you have the eyes to start. The eyes could be a finisher. The throat, the ear. If you're off on the ear, you may go high and hit the temple. That's pretty much the same shot. I have the palm strike to the chin, and I have my skipping shot that goes right over top of the forehead. Try these, that's your head targeting. Okay, now as we start to target into the torso, Bob here has forgiven me from all the headshots that I was giving him. Now, the thing to know about the torso, it is the most protected part of the body, and rightfully so, because of all the vital areas behind the rib cage, i.e. all of the organs. You're going to have the arms to deal with. You're going to have the rib cage to deal with, all the musculature, also all the body fat. People are not getting skinnier, unfortunately. Now, the main parts on the torso that I want to target are going to be the collarbones, the clavicle, the solar plexus, the bladder, the kidneys, and the liver. As I start high and work my way low, that's just the order that we're going to work this in. The collarbone is very easy to break. It's a thin bone, and it's relatively exposed comparatively versus a lot of the other bones in your body. There's not a lot of muscle. There's zero muscle on the top of it that covers it. So if I chop down or hit down on this, it very easily breaks. It's also an incredibly painful shot. So as I do this, I have to be able to clear the arms usually, unless their arms are down. But if their arms are up like this, this is going to be protecting the strike. So I need to either open the arms up or I need to close them across. So I will slap open, left or right, depending on which strike I want to do. So if I slap open, the other hand is going to come downward and hit on top. The way I can strike this is I can chop it, I can hammer fist it, or I can hit with this meaty part at the base of my palm. As I come down on that, that's going to be an incredibly painful shot. High probability of breaking it. Maybe it'll take you 2 shots to get there. Either way, they're going to be very reactive to that hit. I can also backhand strike off of that. The solar plexus. There's 2 different main ways to strike it. I can punch it. So standard cross or jab. You're going to find that just below the sternum, below the pec muscles, right in the center. Very difficult to condition, if not impossible to condition. The other way that I can do this, aside from punching is high risk in our environment, is I can slap it. So as I slap it, I have to get to a flanking side and basically bring my palm straight in. My fingers are going to be pointed to the side, so basically thumb up as I turn in. Very powerful, very brutal shot. I can do this either side. Okay? So that's your solar plexus targeting. Let's move to the liver next. The liver I can target the same way with my slap. And I want to come up diagonal as I do this, not straight across. I can do straight across. You're going to have better results if you come up diagonally. The other way I can do this is a punch, my modified uppercut to the body. Third way people don't think about is an elbow. So I can lower my position and come in from the liver side and elbow just into the floating ribs and hit into the liver. When I target the bladder, I'm going to target it very similarly to how I target the solar plexus. I can do my slap, or I can do a downward punch, left or right, doesn't matter. When you do this, turn your hand inward. It'll help dig into the pouch of body fat that's right there that everybody has. Okay? Or I can do my slap either direction. When I attack the kidneys, I identify my kidneys as being at my elbow level behind my back on the left or the right. So I have to do an arm drag to establish the position. So I can pull across, so I pull basically at the tricep just to get this to happen. I don't really need them to turn much. I just need to get the arm out of the way. I come around and I do an open hand slap. Can I punch? Yes, I can, but you risk hurting your wrist. Do that open hand slap, you're not gonna damage anything, and it's gonna be extremely painful and effective. One side note, when you're targeting the bladder is right at the belt buckle. So it's below the navel and your belt buckle. So if they have a metal belt buckle, be cognizant of that. If they don't have a belt buckle on, have at it. That's your body targeting of the torso. Work it. Okay, Bob has had enough, so we are switching over to our Fairtex banana bag and our Aqua bag torso bag here. So as we work our way down the body, I'm gonna target the groin, the knee, the shin, and the ankles. Starting with the groin. Groin is super simple. If I get a good slap on a groin, you're gonna get the reaction. Don't know what to tell you on that one. So I can do with my palm up, I can hit with the back of my hand, just as like a flick. That one works extremely well as well. I can also lower and do a punch. The punch is gonna be your lowest success of getting the result that you want, just because it doesn't have the surface area that I need sometimes. And a lot of times people hit high. They don't get low enough underneath. When I hit like this, I wanna get all the way underneath there and crush everything against the body. As I target this, what I can do is I can lower my head as I come in. So I do my eye strike to get the hands up, and I lower my head to their belt buckle line off to the side, and I come upward and do the hit. So there's my eye strike, there's my low line hit to the body. As I work my way down from that, I'm gonna target the knee. The knee can buckle in 4 directions technically: outward, inward, backwards, and forwards, depending on how you attack them. We're gonna focus on just buckling the knee to the outside position. That's the easiest one to achieve. As I do that, I can do that in 2 different ways. I can do the standard Thai inside leg kick. Most of the time, you'll just get that. However, you won't get a knee buckle because you'll be hitting that and it'll just move. To get the knee buckle, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a crossover stomp. That is your highest probability of success to get the knee to buckle outwards. I have to flank my opponent a little bit though. So if I want to buckle the lead knee against a righty, which would be this side, I need to move over here. My right leg will turn toes out, and I'll just stomp. I'll try to hit the inside of my thigh with the heel and instep. Fits perfectly on there, and it causes the knee to do that. Notice that when my knee buckles outward, my ankle also rolls over. So you have the ability to attack the structure of the knee, causing potential damage, also causing potential damage to the ankle. So when I do this, boom. And this does not take much to get them to buckle their knee and fall over. If they don't fall over right away, you continue your barrage of attacks. The other strikes that I have are going to go into the shin. Now with the shin, what I want to do is I want to do what's called a jart kick. So as I come in, I hit with my instep, toes out. Just like I'm kicking a soccer ball, passing it to somebody, I'm going to target just below the kneecap. And then I'm going to run my shin down. So go here and I just run it downwards, right to the foot. I'm going to try to break the foot as it goes down. What that can cause as well is that can cause the knee to hyperextend. If you feel like this is going to cause you to lose your balance, hit and retract. This is not going to cause a lot of damage. This is a stunning hit. This is very effective to cause them that jerking reaction, that surprise response that you're looking for to buy yourself time to continue your barrage and get them to stop doing what they're doing. The last thing that I'm going to do is just to target the foot. So if my foot's right here, I'm just going to stomp on it. I'm going to try to damage the metatarsals. I'm also going to try to get the ankle to buckle left, right, or back. If I damage the tendons, great. But if I break the foot and the metatarsals by stomping on it, that's great too, because now they'll have limited mobility as they start trying to move around. Lower half targeting. Sweep the leg.